Just waiting on final confirmation so I can send the invoice.
Excellent.
And hopefully I'll get that get that to help me pay for gas and such in a couple of
Yeah.
weeks.
Very nice. Easy
And
nice.
yes, and I'm very hopeful that that'll work out. It's gonna be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh.
Looking
If
forward to those
anything, I'm
Scotch
looking
eggs.
forward to being in warm temperatures. This is like,
Yeah.
oh, please. It is
Uh,
currently the wind chill when I was out earlier coming home from Pat's house was minus 13. And it was windy. And I'm like, God, I had to go to the store for a second. And I'm like, no, just be inside. Please let me be inside. Ugh, it sucks, man. Time to tweet.
yeah, it's 66 degrees outside right now. It was a high of 74 today. Sorry. But hey, but tomorrow, like the low tonight is 43 degrees, high tomorrow of 45. It's only a 2-degree difference. Oh, hey, Oddish. Oddish is in the chat room.
Oddish! Hey, girl! This is my judgy face. This is my judgy face of you and your 43-degree Fahrenheit where it's going to be minus 13 tonight in Minnesota.
Oh, man.
Sharku! Hey,
Bill. I actually had to have the overhead fan in the bedroom on. It was so warm in the house last night. So I mean, I actually needed a little cold weather. I needed almost didn't sleep under the covers because it was so warm. I
was sweaty.
it's very warm. It's very hot.
That's not fair. Let me flip my windows around here. All right, I got this.
Air conditioning. I need some AC in
January. Yeah, when you told me you turned your air conditioner on in your car the other day.
I know. Like I said, that prompted one of our questions tonight.
I know it did.
Because it's just like, what is this? I still remember a couple of years ago when... yeah, Sharku, I should pop love.
Sharku, fuck you. That is a joke I heard last night. Oh, that was really funny.
Oh, boy.
So last night we raided, and Sharku, he dies like 3/4 of the way through the fight for Emerald Nightmare's spider. We call her Spider Bird Lady, the Eloreth Infernal, whoever that is.
Spider Bird Lady boss.
Yeah, Spider Bird Lady. And Sharku dies about 3/4 of the way through the fight, which is fine. We can one tank it. So we have our other tank, Josh. He's taking care of it. And Sharku had just gotten his dinner delivered to him by his lovely girlfriend. And so he's munching on his food. And I had go, okay, pop hero. Marconin pops hero. And like 30 seconds later, you hear Sharku go, you didn't pop hero yet. I would pop hero right now. And I'm like, shut up! I just said it.
We're doing it. It's there.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I was just eating. I wasn't paying attention. It's totally Sharku. I love it. Well, we did good last night in Raid. That was so fun.
We did.
It was a good, fun time last night. We zipped through some of that content too.
Yeah, it was a nice burn. It was a nice burn through and just farm the heck out of it.
Oh yeah.
Did we wipe on anything?
Not until we got to Trial of Valor. No. Mm-mm.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's good.
That was cool though.
It was fun.
It was good fights. Good fights.
Yes.
Guess I should pull up the show notes. That would be cool.
Hello, Erlina. How are you this evening?
Yeah. What have I done this week?
What's my show notes look like?
All right, I guess I should look those up.
I'm trying to think of what I did this week too. I've done a lot of work stuff, but so we're working on the guild newsletter. We're gonna get the first guild newsletter out soon. We mentioned that in the town hall a couple weeks ago. And so I'm talking to Pat about I need a banner. Like I need a header, an image for the newsletter. Like make me an image because that's what he does. I don't make images. He makes the images. So he draws a banner and he just starts writing and he goes, "Convert to raid news brief," and draws a pair of like tidy whities. And I am dying. And he goes, "Because who raids with pants?" And I looked at him and I said, "I like this." And he goes,
I really like it too.
And he goes, "Really?" And I said, I think it's awesome. So he's made a banner that says "Convert to raid news briefs," and it's got Sharko. It's got the Viking guy on the crotch of the underwear. It's awesome. I was laughing so hard today. I couldn't. It's just sometimes the dumb ideas that we come up with are the right ones. We are going to use it. It is going to be used. It's going to be our so from now on, it's the Convert to Raid news brief. So there you go.
Because who raids with pants?
Of course we're going to use it. I mean, why wouldn't we? So Hi Azrin, how are you? It makes me laugh though every time. I'm just like I do this for a living. Like this is my job. I get to come up with the goofiest shit and he gets to come up with the goofiest shit, and we do this every day. It's so freaking awesome, and it just makes me giggle. So I cannot wait to put together this newsletter, and yeah,
that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hey, buddy, you gonna come up and say hi to Mom? Garrus is doing his little drive-by. Hi, Mom. Yeah, he actually. It's kind of like that because it's like the bumper cars that have the stick that's up at the top and it's like static on the. That's what his tail is. He's like his tail goes underneath my leg and he goes back and then he goes back again. So, yeah.
Bumper Garrus.
Oh, Bumper Garrus.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Yeah. That's what happens when he gets the zoomies around the house. Yes, yes, yes. So lovely, people. Are we prepared for a show? I didn't test honors with you yet. Let me test those. Let's see. How about this one?
You face Jaraxxus, Eladar Lord of the Burning Legion.
Yeah, I heard it.
I heard it? Okay. This one is my favorite. I still have it. It's one of my favorites. Where did I put it? Did I move it? I must have moved it.
You moved it.
I did. Oh, here it is.
Come in, you royal boob.
There you go.
That's it. I have to put it in a place I'm going to remember where it is.
That's the stuff.
That's the stuff. Come in, you royal boob. Ah, He-Man.
He-Man. Let's see.
What you got? Hey.
The 7th. When was the 7th? That was Saturday.
It was Saturday. Here he comes.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Here we go.
I see tail.
Yeah, you see tail. He's walking by the microphone. Hello, little man. Say hi to the chat room. Say hi. Come. Okay, bye. I don't know why they're so hyper tonight. They've been like kind of buzzing around all night since I got up and got everything set up, turned the lights on, get everything ready for the podcast, and the both of them have had a ton of energy. So usually they're just zonked out. I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, they got a case of the zoomies.
I gotta say, yeah, that's true. It is a full moon. That's
Oh,
true,
yeah.
Jay. I noticed that earlier when the moon rose. But it seems right. Well, it's definitely causing some weird stuff to happen, that's for sure. And goofy stuff to happen. All right. So you've heard the sounder. It is now. We must ready check the chat room. Are you guys ready to do a show? That sounded weird. Did that sound weird?
We'll try it again. Sometimes it sounds weird on it. It sounds weird on my end, but I can still hear it.
It was like distorted. Huh.
Was it better on your end?
This podcast is a part of the Sirius Media All-Star.
Huh. It's just that one. It's just that one, I guess.
I don't know.
It just had a little bit. Maybe it got adjusted a little bit in the sounder. Hang on. Yeah, it's a little crunchy. I don't know. I don't know, but at least it's not a show sound. So it's a pre-show sound. It's not a show sound, but it's a pre-show
Yeah,
sound.
so we can work around it.
Yeah, and
we can work with it.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just gonna
Lean with it, rock with it.
Tauren Think Tank.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a little crunchy.
Okay.
But oh boy, look at you guys. You are ready. Nobody's asking for a summon. Nobody is asking to wait for food buff. So I don't know. Did we prepare this chat room or what? Oh, look at it. It's Pixie.
Pixie's ready.
Look at Pixie.
She's ready to go.
Oh.
Aren't you, sweetie?
She is ready. Hi, Pix. She just gonna hang with you tonight? Gonna just like sit on your chest while you do the show?
Maybe.
Maybe. That works.
Or maybe not.
Bye-bye,
If
Pixie.
I pet her too much, she gets upset. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Hey, sweetie.
Shark is gonna need flasks. Of course you will. Of course you will, sir. Don't check us for flasks. Nah, we don't do that here. You don't, So what if your DPS is low? As long as the boss
That's
is dead,
okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, boss is dead in 2 hours or less.
Oh gosh.
The show boss.
That was a show boss. I'm like, could you imagine fighting a boss for 2 hours? That would suck. Oh
Oh man.
awful.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
That would be exhausting and boring.
Oh.
Especially if it's like the
Yeah.
same, like the routine we did for what was it, Guarm?
Yeah.
Or it's like switch over here, and then he's gonna jump this way, and then you jump that way, and you run this way, and it's like, ooh, yeah, welcome to raiding, but
Yeah. At least it's. I mean, thank goodness for a short enrage timer then, because it's not that long of a fight.
I know.
Because it can't be.
Yeah, you're just like,
Not like our 875k HP wipe.
oh my goodness, that was the worst. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it said 0%. Like it said you wiped at 0%. I'm like, how can you wipe at 0%? Well, you did.
Very easily.
That was awful.
Very easily.
Like who had the dots rolling on that one? Sucked. Awful, awful, awful. All right. Let's do this. We're going to do this show. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this show
Just
in.
need to silence my phone.
Silence your phone.
There we go.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 215 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, January 12th of 2017. My name is Jules. I almost said 2016 because it's kind of it feels still a little bit weird to say 2017. My name is Jules. We're back again for another show in this just feels like I'm in sub-zero temperatures. Marconin is in almost balmy temperatures, but we're still part of the same podcast. And of course, with me, as always, is my lovely and talented co-host with his Guardians of the Galaxy shirt on. Tonight, it's Mark Honan.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Good shirt for a good movie.
I love that movie so much, man. Oh, so good. It's
it's definitely one of my favorites, too.
just, that is a fun movie. Like, just plain old fun movie, and I love those. Those are the best.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those where I just kind of want to have it on and just have it playing because it's such a good time.
Yeah.
Like, it's something I just want to have it on. Like, I could be sitting here playing WoW or working on some other stuff. Just have the movie going in the background and just enjoying it for what it is. It's such a good film. Love it.
I don't usually have a movie or anything like that playing in the background. Like, usually for me, it's music. Like, when we raid, it's always music. I have music on.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
But
yeah,
even when I'm out, like, so the other day I was taking my Christmas tree down and I was, I needed something to be on sound, something. And I was like, we'll see how this goes. And then I wound up going and finding this movie on Netflix that I had wanted to see called Hurricane Bianca, which was made by one of the drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race, which is, of course, one of my favorite shows. And of course, I couldn't have it on because I wanted to watch it instead of doing the stuff that I was trying to do. So, looks like your camera froze for a second there. Oh, there we go. That was weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go. I was like, camera froze? Nah, we're good.
Hope not.
Yeah, so I found it's interesting that unless it's something that I've seen before or like, so then I wound up putting on like Say Yes to the Dress from TLC or something like that. Then I could get the work done and not have to like glue my eyes to the screen because it's just like, I don't know which dress I'm going to buy. And then it's like, do you like this one? I don't know. Do you like this one? And then they go, yay! And
she said yes to the dress.
Yeah.
Episode's over.
I might have admitted too much about what I watch on Hulu.
Oh, I took a 3-day bender with the missus and watched DreamWorks Troll Hunters that came out. That's a really good show.
Is it?
It's really good. There's a lot of episodes. There's like 20-something episodes, but they did a real good job with it. The only downside is that the main character is voiced by Anton Yelchin.
Oh.
So with his passing last year, I mean, they want to do a second season because it's very popular. It's a very good show.
Yeah.
It just after the premiere episode, at the very end of it, it says, for you, Anton. I'm like, oh man.
That's heartbreaking.
It is.
Yeah.
Seeing the body of work and seeing and I didn't know it was him until I saw that in there. I was like, wait, hold on, who is? Oh, it's the main guy. The main guy is Anton Yelchin. And so for the rest of the whole thing, I'm just sitting there listening to him. I'm like, man, he did a really good job.
Oh, that's
everybody did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely recommend watching Troll Hunters because it's Guillermo del Toro made it. So it's got really like the whole mythos and everything. It's really interesting and it's kind of an all ages kind of kids show, but I mean it's actually really funny and it's a really cool show. So I'd recommend it.
So it sounds like you've been watching more stuff on like away from the computer kind of thing, like you talked about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have, and I need to catch up because the missus started Man in the High Castle. And I have not seen that yet, and I really want to because I love alternate history. I love seeing, playing the what if game, and I really like the idea. I haven't read the books, but so I need to catch up. So tomorrow, on my day off, I'm going to be working in Photoshop for some things for PAX South and having Man in the High Tower going on the other screen so I can catch up. Because I watched about 20 minutes of it, and I'm like, yeah, I need to watch it. This is pretty good. I like it. I get all, whenever I see these things like sci-fi or any kind of alternate history, I'm a map guy. I want to see the map. Like when I watched Hunger Games, or when I read Hunger Games and then I actually finished reading the book on my phone 20 minutes before I saw the movie on opening night for Hunger Games. I was speed reading those last couple days trying to finish it. But anyway, I wanted to see a map of Panem. I want to see the geography because I went to school and that's what my minor is geography. I love maps and seeing how it's all laid out. So I really wanted to see. I was like, so who controls what? And so I looked up a map of the United States, or what used to be the United States, in that Man in the High Castle. It's really cool to see where the land got split and all that stuff. So that's a little bit more about me than you probably wanted to know, guys. And sorry about that. But yeah, so I've been watching that. I know I said more time away from the computer, but the last week I've actually been enjoying the gaming when I've been at the computer.
Right.
Because if you know anything about Blizzard, you know they have a game called Diablo, or a franchise called Diablo. And the 20th anniversary of the first game came out. And so I spent the last week really doing almost every game's worth of content. I logged into Overwatch to get the sprays. I did the whole thing in WoW and got both the toys, and went in Hearthstone and got the card back. And I'm really, really digging the Darkening of Tristram, that whole Retrovision thing. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I really like that a lot.
That's cool.
And I even got the, you can start the game off with a level 1 character and get if you kill Diablo at the end of it on a brand new character, you get the little butcher pet. And so I've got this little bitty butcher following me around. It's really funny. So I've been enjoying that. I started a seasonal character on the new season because the wizard the wizard set looks really, really awesome. And so I was thinking, like, man, I may have to do that. So I think I'm at maybe level 20 on the seasonal character. So nobody's leveled me yet. I haven't asked. I've just been enjoying the game. So I've been enjoying a lot of Diablo the last week. It's nice to have a reason to get back in there and to really kind of explore it. Been playing some Overwatch on the side too. Seeing the new Oasis map, which is really, really good for Farah, because I was smoking people left, right, center. Oh, I love it. I love Farah. I used to love Bastion, and I still love Bastion as a character, but I think Junkrat and Farah are my go-to characters now. Like, just, well, if I'm not playing Junkrat, I'm on Farah, pretty much,
awesome.
unless I need something else. But so yeah, I've done that. Also been producing some audio for another podcast of our friends, and sent them the final stuff to get finally approved, or to do the final approval. So just waiting on that and seeing how they like it. And yeah, been doing all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Oh, and there's one thing we did last night it was really fun. A lot of people, even Sharku was there.
Hi, Sharku.
Hi, Sharku. We raided. We
Yes, we
raided
did.
again last night. The last raid of Emerald Nightmare. Because we're gonna just jump all in to Nighthold next week.
Yes, we are. It's time. Nighthold. We'd like, let's bring it on. Let's do this. Yeah, that was fun. We did.
We did have fun.
We did have fun. We blasted through Emerald Nightmare. We've had some people missing recently, so we've had to kind of move some people around in roles so that we'd have 2 tanks, and now we have more healers than we need, and it's just kind of an interesting scenario for Ermagerd Offensive. But we wound up doing 2 bosses in Trial of Valor last night and took them both down, and so that was pretty fun.
It was, except for that one first attempt on the dog. Garm?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something else, wasn't it?
That was interesting. Well, and that was like just the weird. It was like, I didn't quite understand how he was moving, like how he moved, and when he jumped and then he ran and then he charged, and I'm like, well, where am I supposed to go? And then suddenly it like clicked. I was like, I got this. I got this. So then it was cool. But that first attempt was like, oh, he hits hard.
Yeah. And then we had the glorious 875,000 HP wipe.
That was awful. Like, we thought we had it. We had lost
800K.
Yeah, 800K is what we had left. We thought we had it. We thought we were done. My DPM says, you wiped at 0%. Like, how does that happen? Like, where did one more swing or something, and we couldn't do it.
If my Frostbolt had finished casting, then we might have gotten there.
He enraged though, right? It was because he enraged.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he enraged because I was at full health way at the back and just like charging it up, and all of a sudden, just dead.
Dead.
Like, come on.
Oh, I know. And Pixie is walking back and forth between Marcona's screen, so
She
you keep
is.
seeing the tail going. I've got Spike over here meowing. It's going to be a cat night, guys. We're sorry, but, as Jayonce said earlier on, it's a full moon, so we don't know what the hell's going on. We don't know what's going on with these animals. Raiding was definitely a good time. I've been doing a lot of farming of herbs lately because I wanted to finally get done so I could make flasks on the fly and not have to be inside the Dalaran and the table to be able to manufacture them, which sucked. And so
Yeah, I don't like that either.
It's so dumb. Like, you've got to run all these different heroics to get the recipe so that you can actually go get it done. And I'm like, oh, all right. So I had to run the last one on Saturday. I did that, and now I can make them. I can do them on the fly. So I've been farming up tons of herbs because, man, flasks sell for a lot of money, man. Really, really good.
They really do.
Like, I was
They
just
really
like,
do.
holy crap, because I spent so much gold on trying to buy the coins for my bonus rolls, and I didn't want to do it with order resources. So I went, and I'm like, holy crap. I think I made about 40K in the last
Woo!
2 weeks of just doing flask selling on the auction house.
Man.
I know, right? It's like totally lucrative. So that made me happy.
I need to start farming more herbs because I know those still sell.
They do
I just
sell.
haven't had a chance.
They do sell, but it's definitely more money to make the flask. Like, more money.
Yeah.
For sure. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So,
I know that every week when I go buy a couple of flasks before raid, I'm like,
I know.
987 gold.
right? And you're like, this hurts. So yeah, I've got them and I'm able to make them for the raid too. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Been playing Heroes when I get a free chance. They're trying to just slowly get myself ranked up. It's just in there is like, yeah, it's just slow and just kind of frustrating because, you 20 minutes of a match and then you win one and then you 20 minutes of a match and you lose one. And it's very hard to actually like start getting rank points in order to like move up in the ladder. But so,
Yeah.
and I wind up getting just tired and then I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Or somebody's been stupid toxic. So, and then,
yeah.
So I haven't really made a ton of progress, but it looks like I'm going to be doing a Heroes event for the Convert to Raid Guild's 4-year anniversary celebration, which starts next week.
Sweet.
I know. It's pretty awesome. So we're going to have a whole slew of events. There's Hearthstone, there's Heroes, there's Overwatch, there's, of course, WoW, LFR, Brawlers Guild, all of the things going on there. So there's going to be a ton of events happening. They're being added to the guild calendar right now if you're a member of the CTR Guild. So we're super stoked for all that. Lots of stuff going on.
It's awesome that the guild's been around for that long. So awesome.
I know. And then if you think about it with the party that's going to be happening for BlizzCon in 2017, that's party number 5.
Oh, you're right.
Number 5. So, and then the following January 2018 will mark the 5-year anniversary of the guild. So
Goodness gracious.
I know. So we're gonna have to pull out all the darn stops for the BlizzCon party this year because number 5, man,
yeah.
it's gonna be awesome. Hey, let's do a podcast, eh? We've got bunches of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Including a really good letter that I think that we have actually done one like this before. So I'm excited to give this a shot. Let's go for it with a think tank question right now.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
Tauren between options indeed.
Yes.
All right. So this is our think tank question of the week. It is Tink Tank time. And the chat room has very much said it there. I love you guys. You're the best. All right. So we have a letter from Discord. It came from our Discord server, which is tinyurl.com/tttchat2. We really appreciate people providing us with content in the Discord. We always ask for permission if you post because you are posting it publicly. So we asked for permission on this letter and said, yes, absolutely. So here we go. This one comes from Azrin, and she says the following. Actually, Azrin, I don't know if you're male or female, so I should not assume. But let me know. Hi, everyone. I'm a little stressed right now and I'm looking for advice. First, a little background. I'm a high school senior going to private school almost an hour away, and I'm about to graduate. My grades are mostly A's with a few B's in all 4 college level classes that I was forced into taking so that college credits would be 75% cheaper. My plan is to go on to study something in technology, but I'm not really sure where I'm going after that. My parents are quite successful and they want me to be successful. I would consider my dad to be a workaholic. He really doesn't understand gaming. He rarely has time to relax when he's going from his 10-hour workday to managing rentals to farming. Anyway, my parents just like a week ago had a talk with me about where my future is headed. They say I spend too much time on my computer after I'm done with schoolwork and need to focus on other things. They think that the only thing I will do in college is lock myself away and game without being told to do anything. I was told I needed to do scholarships over my break, and I did procrastinate a bit, but I got them done. I said that I had 8 given to me, and he wanted 20 plus of them done. My dad comes in to check on me working on them, and every time he came in, he threatened to take away my computer for a long, long time if I didn't have these scholarships 100% done by the first of the year. These scholarships are due in March. After the chat we had, he said that my job was too good for me and that I needed to find another, or he would have me quit my job for a more labor-intensive job that pays less. Apparently, I needed to learn how hard work is in the real world before I start college. He also said that I need to have a full-time job during college so that I can get out debt-free like he did 30 years ago. I want to work, but not full-time because I want to enjoy school a little too. Anyways, anytime he comes into my room, I have to be working on schoolwork and fear that he will decide to take my computer away. I wish I could enjoy my time gaming to relax at night, but I can't because of the constant fear that he will take away the only way I relax. I'm more stressed at home than I am in school, and my favorite day of the week is the one I spend at my grandparents' house because of a late night school activity. If you guys have any input on this, I'd very much appreciate it. I'm sorry this is a long one. I just needed to talk it out somewhere. Thanks. Ooh, Azrin, hi. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know why I was thinking this was written by a girl, so my apologies. This is hard. And
Yeah. This is a tough one.
it is hard because it's very frustrating when you and your parents are on very different tracks in your mind about what you want for your life because it's your life, right? But at the same time, it's like, parents are supposed to have a concern about your future. They want you to have it. They want you to do well with your future. So this is a very challenging one. And there were a lot of suggestions that were given in the Discord server, which we'll talk about in a bit. But your first impressions, Mark Conan?
Well, it is tough because you are still in school and you still are with your parents, and they do have domain over you in ways like that, especially if they bought your computer. And your hands are kind of tied for right now in that regard because it's still their rules,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, not for much longer, because if you go to college, you get a little bit of freedom there. But I think your dad is exhibiting telltale tough love because he has real concerns and real ideas of what you should be doing in college. And yeah, he wanted to get your scholarships done by the first of the year, even though they're due in March, because he may be concerned that if you procrastinate, that because I'm a procrastinator, I am just by nature, and if it doesn't get done, then if it doesn't get done earlier, then it may not get done at all.
Right.
So I know he's got concern for that, and I know you're in the chat room. You said that you bought your computer, so it is yours, but it's tough for us to when it comes to parents, they still kind of have that, they still have claim over you because they're your parents.
Yeah. Well, and the problem with most parents, especially parents like yours, who have a very specific view of how they think you should live your life, they're coming at it from a perspective of saying, I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did when I was younger. You know, and
or it worked for me, so you're going to do it the exact same way I did it because it worked for me, just like
right.
having the full-time job because you want to get out of college debt free. And that's a very noble aspiration. It really is. And I have some friends that did go through college and don't have any debt because they didn't take out loans. They worked. I mean, I worked, but I had to take out loans too.
I took out loans
So
too.
it's, you know, and we'll be paying on those till the cows come home twice. So
yeah,
but-
I
and-
was
and
very
can
lucky.
understand, you know,
I was very lucky. I had a large number of loans when I went to college because I went to a very expensive college, and I was lucky enough to be in a situation when I got married that we could pay them off because my ex-husband, had the funds to be able to get us, help us pay it off because
Yeah.
as a marriage, it became his debt too.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people will wind up paying on their loans until they're well into their 20s and 30s. And I can understand that. I can understand how, Marcona's kind of rolling his eyes because he's still in that position.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's just say this, for instance, like if you could do anything differently in that respect, would you?
Would I do anything different?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the only thing I would do is, I mean, I'd try to talk to your parents and say, hey, I know that. Okay, so about using gaming to relax, they may not understand it. So if you try talking to them about, hey, I am working on schoolwork, and when I get done with my schoolwork, sometimes I like to relax, and and you guys like to watch TV or whatever it is, and it's kind of hard because you said your dad's a workaholic, so he is very driven all the time, all cylinders. He doesn't understand it. It doesn't compute. Maybe your mom may be a better conduit to talk about this because she may understand a bit better than he does, and she may be able to relate it to him better. But that, sometimes you do need to relax. Like today, I got done with work. I got everything done. I came home, ate dinner, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play a little bit of video games before the show. So I just relaxed, played some games, and it's having that balance in your own life and then relating it to your parents in a way like, I know, this is what I do to relax. I know my priority is with school, and I'm definitely making that my priority because this is your last semester now before graduating, and it's tough, but you're in the home stretch.
Yeah.
So keep focusing on your school. Once you get done, you'll be awesome. And I know you said senioritis is creeping in, and yeah, it did that to me too, really hardcore. But you got to keep your eyes on the prize. Schoolwork has to come first. You got to get the best grade you can. You're working on college credits because it's cheaper. You're doing good. So you just gotta make it through till May or June or whenever you graduate, and then you can go to college, and then you can find that kind of work school balance stuff, and go that way. But I think if you try to relate to your parents that your downtime is gaming, that's your hobby. Some people paint, some people listen to music or watch Netflix, whatever you do to veg out, you do need a little bit of relaxation time. And I think trying to relate that to at least your mom, if not both your parents, may help them understand a little bit. Because living in fear of every time the door creaks open that your dad's going to come in and just grab your tower and leave with it, that sucks. It really does.
Yeah.
But I think if you just make sure and maybe even show them that you are taking, like, here's the steps that I've taken. I've thought a lot about this, and I'm doing all these things, but I just need a little bit of time to relax in game. At least for that part of the letter, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Is try to relate it to them.
Well, the problem is that, I mean, a lot of us, and especially the folks that are in the chat room right now, people who are listening to the show after it's been recorded, will probably say, oh gosh, I totally relate to this because my parents just didn't understand what they felt gaming was a waste of time hobby. You're not doing anything productive. You're not, and so therefore it's equated to laziness. Therefore it's equated to you will then be lazy as a human being and you will never get anything done in your life. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to, I think it's very much your dad instilling a work ethic in you, You've got to work hard. You've got to want to work hard, and you've got to want to keep pushing harder and harder. The problem is that your dad is not you, and he doesn't know that. He just thinks that he can just instill his experience, and this is how it works for me, just like Mark Harmon said earlier. This is how it worked for me. So therefore, it's going to work for you, son. And that is the fallacy in that.
Yeah, that's not true.
It's not. And so, number one, I think there's a very strong need for communication, lines of communication where he actually hears you and respects your opinion, and how you see things. And there needs to be compromise. You are constantly feeling like you're having to give to please him, and he is constantly feeling like he has to nag you. And, instill the sense of work ethic. Tell you that you need to make sure you've got enough money so that you don't go into debt. Again, going back to my earlier point, he knows better. Therefore, he should instill this within you, because he would fail as a parent in his mind if he did not try to teach you these lessons. The thing about it, Azrin, is that sometimes you've got to fall on your ass in order to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
And parents know this, intrinsically know this, because they have been through this themselves. The problem with being a parent is that you say, I don't want my child to deal with the same pain and stresses that I did. I don't want them to be upset. I don't want them, and whether or not it's conscious or not, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. Like a workaholic dad is pretty much like, this is how you should live your life because this is how I live my life. And I am a successful man. And this is how it should work for my son.
Mm-hmm.
And I also remember being a teenager. And I also remember being a belligerent teenager. Maybe a defiant teenager. And, no matter what, you will feel that your parents are very disconnected to you as a person because they don't see you as a person right now. They see you as their child, and it's their responsibility, I mean, Mark Honan and I in a previous show, it's been a while, but we've had a conversation about the time when we've actually had those moments of speaking with our parents that felt like we were talking to two adults, or three adults, if it was mom, dad, and you. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time for that to happen. And it's got to be after you've gotten your butt out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be for a while.
And a while has to pass because once you leave for school, all of a sudden the structure that you have is gone. You decide when you get up. You decide when you eat. You decide if you're going to go to class or not. You decide if you're going to work or not. You decide how to spend your money. Nobody tells you to wash your clothes. Nobody tells you that you need new shoes because you got holes in them.
Yeah, and that's great for the first couple weeks until you realize you have no clean underwear and your hair is really long and it smells in your room because you haven't taken out the trash in 2 weeks.
Right.
So it's nice and freeing, but then you got to take up the slack yourself.
Right.
Which is fun.
And I'm not saying this to be scary. And I'm not saying this to be, I'm not trying to make a joke out of it. I remember those days. I remember the days when I went to school and all of a sudden I was like, holy crap. Like all of those decisions that used to be made for me are now mine. And it just happens. It's just, you move into your dorm and it's there. Like you start, like you have no curfew. No one's going to tell you to get your ass to bed because you have to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning for class. And so, it's suddenly this switch that goes on. And so that last year before you go to school, you're in that position where your parents are like, oh crap, did I prepare him properly to be able to wash his clothes or cook a like I didn't know how to make myself a meal when I went to college. Like my roommate taught me how to go get a like to get a can of vegetable soup and have him, at the grocery store and make I'd never made soup for myself before. Yeah. I mean, that seems kind of silly, but it was stuff that I never really, my dad always cooked dinner and I usually helped him. Like I knew how to do that, but I never did it on my own until I went to school. And of course there's a dining hall and whatever, but, there were a lot of things, little things that I should have probably done. I never did my own laundry until I went to school. And so, yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. So, so let's take that out. I just wanted to make that point is that, things are going to change pretty drastically for you. And, so they're probably in that mode to say, did I prepare him properly to make sure he's ready to do this?
Mm-hmm. Trying to squeeze it all in at the last minute.
Yeah, and
or just make sure that everything that needs to be said's been said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
Azrin said, "I gotta say they've trained me well. I can cook, clean, do laundry. Hell yeah, way to go!
There you go. You got a leg up on like 98% of your peers."
Right, and you're gonna be like, dude, like you don't know how to wash your clothes, like that's you're gonna be saying to your buddies when you go to school.
Yeah. You could probably charge to cook. You're like, yeah, I'll make dinner for all you guys. $5. $5
Oh,
each.
yeah.
You just make a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
That's
an idea. It's an idea.
Opportunistic. I love it.
Yeah, entrepreneurial. There you go.
I love it. So let's talk about how we can manage the next 6 months, 8 months before you actually go to school. Because this is not the kind of stress that you want. And part of it is that your dad especially needs to hear from you in a mature and rational way.
Absolutely.
It can't be whiny. It can't be belligerent. It can't be defensive, or else you're just going to inflame his sense of, well, you're definitely not prepared for to be on your own.
Yeah, and one way to do that is to be very complimentary of the job that they've done as far as raising you and the ideas and the things that they've instilled in you that you are going to take with you.
Yeah.
You got to start in a positive way and talk to them about that. And then you can kind of, that's going to them instead of pushing things at them. You're like meeting them on their terms.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of work in, sometimes I like to relax and do a little bit of gaming. And I mean, and I know you guys don't understand. I can show you if you'd like. I mean, I don't know if some people just don't care about it. You can show somebody like, yeah, it's really cool. This whole thing that I do, it's like, people used to go play bridge at Celia's house down the street once a week. That's what you would do to relax. You'd have your weekly game. Well, I meet with people around the world and kill big digital dragons. That's our bowling league, and this is what I do to relax sometimes.
Yep.
It's like Draven Dresden said, it's just like a job interview. Positive, negative, positive. Mm-hmm. Just start with the positives and meet them on their terms, and then kind of introduce your own things. And like Jules said, don't be whiny, don't be combative, just talk like an adult. I guess is a mature adult. I saw examples this week on Facebook of not so mature adults, even people who run businesses. Ugh. Yeah. So be mature about it and be, like I said, be very positive and encouraging that they are letting them know that they're doing a good job as parents, preparing you for the future. Mm-hmm. But that there's also, some room for them to understand you a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
And just understand where you're coming from.
Absolutely. And there's the art of compromise in this one. Because, I think that there needs to be some give and take to say, Dad, I understand that you want me to do 20 plus scholarship applications. So how about this? If I can do that, but give me a little time every night after my homework is done to play a game, and before it's time for me to go to bed. And I promise you, I will have the scholarship applications done. I'll have this many done by this day. I'll have this many done by this day, and give him, promises that you can keep. And so his compromise in that is that he doesn't nag you, because you've made a promise to him that you will plan on on meeting, and that the agreement has to be, I don't want you to nag me about it, please. I have committed to doing this, and I want you to trust me. I ask that you trust me.
Yeah. One quick idea that I had. Do you want to keep going?
No, go ahead.
Or, okay. One quick idea is maybe spread out the time because, college is incoming. And one thing about it is that your parents don't have that much time left with you before you leave. So one way you could compromise is to have some evenings where you game and then other evenings spend with your parents. Do something with them to show interest in them so that you're building some more memories with them before you leave, and showing that you want to do, because I understand, believe me, I understand being in a room and playing a whole lot of video games. Sometimes you get sheltered away from the rest of the world, and you lose track of things like people. You lose track of things that you could have done, and making time to make those memories is always a good thing.
Yeah.
So maybe doing, I know you got to relax with gaming. I totally with you on that, but maybe one way to kind of meet them in the middle maybe is suggesting do something with them in the evenings that they would like to do, or something you can do together, just to kind of leave on a good note, as best a note as you can,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just pie in the sky ideas, but that's kind of what
it's a thought, and we don't know your situation. We don't know what this, the situation at home is like, where, they're just hoping that you'll come out of your room every once in a while. So,
yeah.
Because as teenagers, boy, we definitely liked to stay in our rooms a lot.
We want to see your face, son. We want to see you.
Yeah. But, compromise is going to be your biggest asset here. It is going to be, give and take, and allowing you to have a rational and mature conversation with your dad to say, this is how I feel when I'm always feeling like what I'm doing isn't good enough, and it's stressful for me. And this is how, I enjoy my gaming time, and I understand that you want me to be successful and work hard and have a good job. The situation about the job concerns me a little bit, because
the one where he wants to leave the good job and get a more intensive, less paying one, or the working full-time in college part?
Yeah, it's like, well, the working
Both
full-time in college, yes, but mainly it's like the message being sent here is your job is too easy. You don't know the value of earning $1, so you better go out there and find a job that teaches you how to get up, roll your sleeves up and get in there.
That's and believe me, at my job, I roll up my sleeves, and like it was hard labor today at work. I was constantly building things on the ground. I was like laying on the ground, screwdrivers, drills, hammers, everything. So I know the value of hard work, but you don't necessarily need to have it, because it's a different world that we're living in than we were 30 years ago.
Yeah.
There aren't that many there are still a lot of, roll your sleeves up jobs, plenty of them, and they pay good, and you get a lot of satisfaction of it. I believe that's perfectly fine. Not everybody in the world's going to get a college degree, because who's gonna clean the toilets? Somebody has to.
Right.
But it's not like you can just go out and find a factory job as well as you used to, or just find something that I just need to get my hands dirty. I don't care if it just pays minimum wage.
Yeah.
You're going to get your taste of hard work at one point or another in your life. So being prepared for it, like I had easy jobs in college. I taught trombone. I worked at arcades. The hardest thing I had to do at the arcade is move the machine.
Right.
And I could do that and like count money and all that stuff. That's easy. And I didn't get like a labor intensive job until I graduated college and did this job.
Yeah.
But I still knew the value of it. It wasn't like I just came in like, because I had the values instilled in me that I need to work hard when it's time to work hard.
Yeah.
I think having those values in there is more important than actually getting your hands dirty in the first place.
Yeah.
Because if you know it and they've taught you that, then that is even more valuable than the people that go out and get it, because you've already, that when the time comes to, or if you get a job that's like that, you are mentally prepared to get in there you know, roll up your sleeves, jump in feet first, and just go for it.
Right.
So I don't think getting a labor intensive job just for the sake of getting your hands dirty is a good way to go about it, especially if you've got a good job right now.
Well, and he's talking about how his dad, in the letter, he's going from 10-hour workday to managing rentals to farming. I know farmers, and farmers have some of the most breakneck work ethics I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
because they have to. And so, but there's also another side of that work ethic, which is judgment for others who don't have the same work ethic as them. And so I have to say, I can see where he's coming from. He wants you to know what the value is of working really, really hard and doing an excellent job. But his way of doing things is not the only way of doing things and being successful in how you do it. I never worked in a truly labor intensive job when I was in school, but I had a really good work ethic, and I got an internship at a Kimberly-Clark plant working in their offices. And I was willing to work. I was willing to learn. I was eager to listen, and they moved me between different departments, and I learned first I learned HR, and then finance, and then purchasing, and then reception. And I learned how to do all of this because they saw the value that I was giving them, that I really wanted to learn and I wanted to absorb it. That was not hard physical labor. That was good work ethic. And it turned out to be really wonderful for me because I could go to get a job anywhere with those kinds of skills.
Mm-hmm.
And that was more about what fit me. And that's the balance here that I think is missing, is that your dad sees how it works for him. Again, he sees the path that he's taken to be successful. My son is going to do the same thing as me. But you are his son, but that doesn't make you identical copy of him. It's like a doctor's son not wanting to be a doctor, or a lawyer's son never wanting to be a lawyer. It's that the path that your parent took is not necessarily what you want, and sometimes that's hard for them to swallow because that's the only way they know. That's how they know to raise you. That's how they know. That's the experience that they live in. But those skills and those pieces of knowledge, they're universal.
Yeah,
they are universal. You can do them anywhere. And as long as you come in with a really strong, good attitude, willing to learn, willing to pay your dues, not have an attitude, be a good person, somebody who's, willing and, timely, shows up, gets the work done, follows protocol. People love you.
Willing to learn.
Yeah.
Always wanting to learn new stuff, asking questions.
Yeah. And,
being invested.
Right. That's being a good worker. So he just said in the chat room, Master said, he told me that if he was hiring for a job, he wouldn't hire me. Okay. That's fine.
Well, then maybe the job he was going to hire you for isn't what you were interested in.
Right.
He doesn't have the, I'm studying for an interview that hopefully I will get next week. And I am trying to navigate the world that is corporate retail management leadership questions. Those questions where, show me an example of a time when you were working with an unruly coworker. What did you do? And all of these questions where some of the situations I'm trying to think hard into my past to see if I've got, and these are hard questions.
Yeah.
And they're designed to be that way to weed you out. So you've got to learn that kind of stuff, and it's rough. So
yeah.
He doesn't have the questions in front of him. He doesn't know how you're going to answer them. So for him to say that is, I guess like I said, he's hiring for a job that you don't necessarily want. So that's okay that he wouldn't hire you.
And I'll tell you what, if you go out there and you get experience doing the things, be a conscientious worker, work hard, show your initiative. A good employer is going to take notice of that and want to give you more responsibility. They just do. And so the thing about it is he's pushing you hard, but he's not pushing you in the right way. And you have to be motivated by what really drives you. So, that's the difference is like, I would not be motivated by, let's say, like I applied for a fast food job when I was in school, and I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it. So what I did instead is I worked in offices for this Kimberly Clark job that I did when I came home for breaks, because I had established myself to the point where they were like, yes, please come back during your winter break, come back during your summer break. We would love to have you back. And that worked for me because that was the kind of work, number one, that I was good at, and number two, that I liked. And so, your dad is looking at it from a perspective of his world. But there's like, you wanted to go into study something into technology. It doesn't sound like what he's doing has anything to do with that.
So it's a totally different field. He doesn't know what people are looking for. I mean, and basically, work ethics basics, the stuff like that. Yes. But he doesn't live in that world of technology and what people want out of those jobs and what you might want to do with that degree. I mean, there's tens of thousands of things you could do with it.
Yeah.
You're
heck, with technology, 17 years old or 18
Yeah.
years old, you haven't had the life experience and the ability to, like, nobody would have hired me at 17 or 18. I was a punk. Like,
Yeah. I was washing dishes at a pizza restaurant at 18. That's all I had.
I worked at a video rental store. There's dating myself.
What are those?
Welcome to dating
Be kind,
myself.
rewind.
And yes, that's exactly what it was. And then we had the really stupid rewind machines there too.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm old, guys. I'm old.
Do you remember those VCR, those video rewinders that looked like cars?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I just thought of those. Those are awesome.
Yes. we're totally derailed, but you know what I mean? Is like that was the extent of my experience before and then I went to college, and then I got this internship, and then I did that thing. Nobody would have hired me for a big office job. I wasn't qualified. I had no experience. I had no, but then I go to school and I start learning some stuff, and it makes it just connects more. You understand. And that's the thing. So again, compromise is going to be your biggest asset here. Asking for it, and showing that you're giving your portion of it back. Making him happy enough for the things, and then asking for his to relent on some of the things that he's been very, very tight on.
Yeah, there's wiggle room. There's room to compromise, and you got to be confident when you ask, and ask for reasonable things. Ask for a reasonable meeting in the middle. Make sure that he knows that you are working hard to get all the things done that you need to before you graduate.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to kick back and kill some dragons once in a while.
Yep.
It's a hobby.
Yeah. And that it should be okay. Like, you should. Just because your dad does not have those same kinds of downtime moments that he experiences for himself, and that working brings him that kind of satisfaction, it's just a point of difference between you. And so it's good. It's good to list, to address the fact that you understand that he is trying to make sure you're prepared for the real world. But you're still young, and you're still able to have the time to relax. I mean, I used to sit with a book when I was younger, and I'd read an entire day. My parents never got upset about that because I was reading, And so, but if it was me on a console or on my computer, it would have been a very different story. And so I understand it. I get it. They just want you to be, in their mind, using your time in a way that's constructive but I don't know if it took a couple of years for Mama and Papa Jules to understand this podcast, to understand what World of Warcraft was. They didn't get it. I used to get ribbed about it. I used to get teased about it, and they know this. And then they took the time, and they came around, and they came and said, "Wow, honey, I really like you really do make a difference in people's lives when you do this show." And I was like, "This is what I've been telling you we've been doing. Like we really try to help people." And she's like, well, and my mom and dad was like, mom was like, I didn't know, because they didn't understand. And
Yeah.
that's going to happen a lot of times with parents in video games. It's still going to happen, even in this day and age. So you may not win, you may not break it, but you can start, working on at least giving you some of that time.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, you're in the home stretch. You've only got a few more months left till you graduate. So, I mean, things are about to change fundamentally with your life. They're going to change a whole lot. I know you said you're already working on college classes, and that's a fantastic way to get ahead right out of the gate. But it's still a very different animal when you get up there, and things are going to change. They're going to start changing quickly, and they're not going to stop changing. So just roll with it. Be as compromising and non-whiny to your parents in these last few months that they still have you, as a kid and as a, living at home and not gone to college yet. Just try and be kind of compassionate to their ideas, but also introduce your own as well.
Yeah.
Understand where they're coming from, but then make sure that they know where you're coming from too.
Yeah.
You just gotta, there's room for, I think, both parties for a little more understanding, and just to meet in the middle.
And, learning these skills of how to have these kinds of conversations aren't easy. You can practice in front of a mirror, and watch your own facial expression, the words that you choose to use, that kind of thing. That's how I started learning how to have conversations like this. Like, Mom, Dad, I want to talk to you about some of the things that we've been arguing about my time and the time that I'm spending that you feel I should be doing more. And I'd like to discuss that with you and have, find the words that you can say that'll come comfortably when they're sitting in front of you and your butterflies are flying around in your stomach.
Yeah. Or take notes.
Or take
have
notes.
Like little,
yeah.
Have little bullet points of things you want to talk about. That way you don't forget them.
Right.
Have a little cheat sheet there for you.
Yeah. So that you don't.
That's always a good idea.
I want to make sure that I make this point, and that. And, if you need to write them out. Yeah, like that. Bullet points, notes, Cliff's notes, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Have it on your phone or whatever it is. But these are some ways that you can work with it too. It's important. It's important to really have a conversation with them. Because what's most likely going to happen in this situation like this is that your parents, again, don't see you as an adult. They see you as their son and their responsibility. And so it's going to be difficult for them to not be defensive about them being right and you're wrong. And you're sitting there going, Mom and Dad, you're wrong and I'm right. And so, there all of a sudden is like big old impasse. Like, you've got a roadblock up there right away. So disarming them, as Marconin very well put earlier, by thanking them and showing appreciation for the things that they have taught you. You said earlier in the chat room, they've taught you how to cook, how to clean, how to do laundry. And
yeah, they prepared you better than most parents have prepared their kids before they leave the house. So they've done a real good job.
That point to them to say, I'm very, I consider myself to be lucky because you took the time to teach me these things so that I would know and do them well. And even though I've probably rolled my eyes at you and gotten grumpy when you've told me to do my laundry, I appreciate that you've taught me this now so that I don't have to learn it later.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, anytime a parent is told by their children that they're doing a good job, that's like winning the lottery. Yeah. Because like whenever I've talked to my parents and made sure that they know how much I appreciate them and what they've always done for me and how much not only do I love them, but I respect them and that they have done so, it's a tearjerker every time because I mean it, and that's worth its weight in gold if words had weight. So
absolutely, because they've spent most of your life realizing and understanding that parenting is a thankless job, it's not our fault as children when we're growing up. We just we lack the mental awareness of how to give gratitude for the things that your parents have done for you. You don't get that until afterwards. You don't get that until you
Yeah.
move out, until you
And you
really
don't get
start
it anymore.
yeah, and then you start to actually appreciate the fact that your mom's lasagna was like the best thing that you've ever had in your life, and when you try to make it, it's just crap, you know. But you don't get that perspective until you've gone away from it, because it's a given. Mom is there every day to make sure you get up for school, and there's always groceries in the fridge, and there's always stuff available for you. You don't think how it got there. It just happened for you, until you have to go out there and you have to pay a bill, and your electricity got shut off because you forgot to pay it. And it is, a thankless job. So to be able to thank your parents, even though sometimes you want to scream your head off at them for being so dense that they just don't understand you, you will blow them away. I promise you. If you can show them genuine gratitude for the things that they've done for you.
Yeah. And it should make them more receptive to what you're going to say next.
Yeah.
Like lead in with it. Make sure that they know how much you appreciate them and how good a job they are doing.
Yeah.
And that you recognize it, and that you're very happy of the job they've done for you.
Yeah.
And to you.
Right. Exactly. So I wish
And that kind of goes with the whole, don't be whiny, don't, be mature with it. And that's a good way to start off.
Yeah. Because it's very easy to kind of fall back on the, every time you yell at me, I feel like an idiot. It's like, that's not productive. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's only going to inflame emotion. And that's not where you want to go here. You want to be rational and logical and talking about this in a way that's going to make a solution viable for both of you. You may not both come out of here knowing and agreeing on everything you wanted, but if you can come out with some forms of increased communication, number one, and number two, a better situation than when you started, that's a win.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, this was a good one. Azrin, we wish you a ton of luck, and I hope that there are some good updates coming our way soon, because we want to hear them.
Absolutely. We definitely do. So thank you for posting that in our Discord and then letting us talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys wish to send your questions into the show, you can do so at our email address, questions@taurenThinkTank.com. You can use our Discord server, which is tinyurl.com/tttchat2. People are posting information in there as well. We will always ask you in Discord, since you post it publicly, we will always ask you if you are okay with us using it on the show. And you could tell us right away, hey guys, I'm okay if we use this on the show. If you email us and you tell us that you want to be remaining anonymous, you will always be anonymous. That's how it works. So Yep. Otherwise, we will use your name. So when you email us, we assume that you will want us to use your name unless you tell us otherwise. So
Yep.
Or your
That's how it works.
Screen name, whatever it is. That was a really good discussion. I really enjoyed that. So
yeah, I did too.
Yeah, awesome. Let's roll ourselves into a little tell us one thing. Another good discussion coming in the way, because these are some good questions coming from Marconin. Here you go.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
It is Tell Us One Thing. It is 2 questions that we put out there every week. We ask for your responses, and we also give you ours. So it's a cool 2-way street in there. It's kind of fun. A little bit different than how we started it out, and it's been working out really, really well. So Marconin was the one who came up with the questions this week. Let's start off with the first one that you wrote.
Yeah, so this week is you get a nice pendulum swing between the weather here where I'm at and where Jules is at, because it was in the 70s today, and I think Jules told me yesterday it was supposed to be 11 degrees where you are today.
It is currently -2. The high today was 11 Fahrenheit. It's currently -2 Fahrenheit according to my app on my watch.
And it is 63 degrees Fahrenheit here. Outside. Right now at 9 o'clock at night. So it's been very warm. Now we're gonna get a cooling. There's gonna be a cooling trend coming through in the next few days. The high tomorrow is supposed to be 45 degrees. Slight chance of rain. I'll get off the Weather Channel right now. So yeah, it's a very you get this wide variance for us, and so that got me to thinking about crazy weather.
Yeah.
So the first question I wanted is, what is the craziest weather you've ever seen or experienced? Now this is like firsthand. I was there, not I saw it on the Weather Channel. Or I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was going for. So, Jules, what was the craziest weather you've seen?
It was most definitely the first tornado I ever saw. Actually, I never saw it. I heard it. So I was in Madison, Wisconsin when this happened. And I was living in a house that had a screened-in porch. It was not an all-season porch, but it was like a porch for the summertime with the screen windows and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my favorite things to do was to go out there and hang out when it rained or when I had a thunderstorm, because it was like boom right there, and I love thunderstorms.
Yeah.
And I had never experienced a tornado. Coming from New Jersey, I had never experienced what a tornado was like. But I'd had plenty of tornado warnings and tornado watches, and tornadoes in the Midwest, they have tornado shelter signs everywhere in public buildings because it's a tornado place. Tornado.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in my house. I'm in the screened-in porch. And I have the TV on in the background that's, doing the buzzing sound to say, there's a warning going on. And it does another buzz to say that there's a tornado warning for Dane County, which is what I was in, and seek shelter immediately. And as soon as I heard that, suddenly the wind stopped. It was like everything just went, and then there was a sound of like a train. And that's what they say
man.
it's like the sound of a train coming. And it was so eerie. The sky was green. And suddenly the wind was dead, and then there was this train, and I went, basement! So we ran down to the basement and grabbed the cat and went down to the basement. We're watching the Weather Channel on the TV down there. Says the tornado warning has passed. Everything's fine. I can't hear anything in the basement though. And so I go back upstairs, and everything's fine right around me. And but on the corner of my block is where the tornado came through.
Oh, geez.
It touched down, and it went in a line along, and you could see it. You could see where it had touched down because there were trees along there. Some of them were destroyed, and some of them were fine. You could see the line. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, that blew me away. Like, literally, almost. Like, I could have been blown away.
Almost literally, yeah.
Scary. I mean, people have experienced tornadoes, but that was the weird, craziest weather I'd ever experienced because it was that close.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I have yet to experience a tornado that close, but I've had some close calls growing up. I had to go down to my grandmother's basement because there was a tornado, and actually, I think my dad was bowling. It was part of a bowling league, and the tornado ripped off part of the ceiling of the bowling alley. Wow. Like lifted off some of the things that came through, and he was there, like underneath the little tables and stuff. So yeah, I live in Tornado Alley, yet I've never been like, I always want to see one. I've never actually seen one with my own eyes.
I've seen them.
But
they're scary.
But if I was in your situation, I probably would have gone like to the highest point of the house to look and see where it was.
Yeah.
And then, like an idiot, and then I would go down the stairs into the basement.
Yeah,
I want to see.
I've seen videos of people who have done that with recording it on their phone. You don't do that. Like, never. I would never, ever, ever mess with a tornado again. Because I've seen the destruction of what it's done, and a neighborhood, and like just knowing like that could have been. There is a video on the internet that I saw where it was I don't know where it was, but they had the warning. The guy ran to the window, turned the phone out to the window, saw the tornado coming, and goes, oh my God, runs into the bathroom and jumps in the tub, and it tears the house down around him. He's still got the phone going. And when he gets up, the house is gone. There is no house left in the front. And that freaked me out so bad that I'm like, I need a basement, okay? I really need a freaking basement.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's not, there's no joke. Do not mess.
Mm-mm.
Do not mess.
Oh,
So.
goodness.
How about you?
Yeah. Well, not like I said, nothing quite so scary, but gosh, there's a couple of them. One time on Christmas Day, I was up with my family, and in my hometown. And I was coming back to the house, and big snowstorm hit, and I was trying to beat it to get to the house, and eventually, like, the interstate stopped. Like, there was so much ice and snow that it accumulated so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the interstate was a parking lot, and eventually I had to, and I was driving a little Impala, but I was driving a 4-door car at the time, and I eventually saw where a couple of trucks had kind of plowed their way through the snow to get off onto the shoulder. They had to go through a little dip at the side of the interstate, and I just was like, well, I know it's clear there, so I just followed their tracks and went, and almost didn't make it up the hill onto the access road, but finally got in. And then as soon as I got to the house, maybe an hour later, we didn't have power we lost power for almost a week. And we're like in the middle of we're like in the suburbs, but we're in the middle of the city.
Good Lord.
And so yeah, there was I just had to do that. But another time was when I had to go to work, and there was a tornado came through exactly where I had driven, like right afterwards. And then the next day I came back through, and trees were stripped, buildings were blown apart, exactly where I had driven. And I almost didn't go into work that night because of the weather, but my boss was like, yep, we're working, come on in. And that was when I worked overnight. So I was going in, and I stayed there all night. And then the next day it was like just seeing the aftermath of that. It was crazy. Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yay, tornadoes.
Yay, tornado. Well, not really. We've got
they're a marvel of weather and of differences in pressure and wind. But it's crazy how nature is, but
it really
very
is.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got some stories from our audience. Mammoth said the Tennessee snowstorm in 1994 was horrible, or awesome and horrible. Snowed for a day or so, but stayed ice for a week. Ice is the worst. Oh, it's awful.
Yep, I definitely feel you there. At Dave Wiener 17 says the 1998 ice storm in Ottawa, Canada. Cracked trees frozen in place mid-fall. Ice-sealed cars, skatable roads, beautiful but scary.
Yeah. Jessica Chaos says nothing says Minnesota quite like thunder snow. And she is right. Thunder snow is the weirdest thing ever. And it happened to me last year, thunder snow, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so weird, because it's actually a thunderstorm while it's snowing, and it's like you just don't expect a thunderstorm. Like, that's thunder? What?
That's like both my favorite things, snow and lightning.
Yes.
Aravis of Cadgar says, I watched a black and red tornado go past me, only a few blocks away on campus. Then I biked away as fast as I could. I would have done the same.
I know. Morrison Wow said, pushing my car through a flood in downtown Richmond in a hurricane. Oh, my Lord. Oh, no.
Another one crazy weather thing that I had one time is 2005 with Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
When it hit, I actually saw the remnants of Katrina go over campus because I could see where the eye was. Like, you could see where the remnants were still there. It wasn't raining or anything because it just rained out, but the clouds were still like flowing. They weren't like breezing by, but I could just see the aftermath of it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's crazy. Just pointing up into the sky like a crazy person.
That's nuts.
Let's see. Draven Dresden said 2 years ago, either in January or February, the day started out at -6 degrees Fahrenheit. By noon, it had warmed up to nearly 60. By 12:30 p.m., the downpour of rain began, and at 1 p.m., we had 3.5 more inches of snow. Woo!
There's a lot of different ones. Lots of big snowstorms. Lots of big, Yeah, lots of big storms, and
Oh, yeah.
and a lot of ones where it's like GDS MGL said drove through a mix of thunder, lightning, rain, sleet, hail, and snow. 5 minutes later, it was sunny with nothing else coming down. I actually got a little scared of that storm. That's freaky. Like
Ooh.
where the line is of the storm.
Yeah,
Have you
Yeah.
ever seen a thunderstorm from the air when you were flying?
Yes, and it's terrifyingly gorgeous.
It is gorgeous and awesome and really
Oh.
freaking scary. I know.
Just glued my face to the window. Just oh my god!
I know. It's so cool.
It's so good. Oh my god!
So let's
There's
move.
something on the.
Since we're kind of running long on time, let's move on to question 2.
Yeah. Well, this kind of goes along with me applying for other jobs in the company. That they're totally different in what they do compared to my experience with the company. But, I lean heavy on the fact that I've been with the company for 7 years and I know the processes. I am not the most adept at them because I haven't directly trained with them. So there's a sizable chance that I may not get these positions because as opposed to somebody else that maybe was like right under them, that position in the hierarchy, maybe trying to move up, I'm trying to move up and over. So
Yeah.
there's a real possibility that I'm stuck where I'm at right now. I'm still going to try, though. So that led me to think, when did you decide to go for something, even when you knew you would probably fail at it?
So that's your story,
You
right?
know?
That one's your story.
Yeah, that's kind that's kind of, well, yeah, I think that's like that's the one for me for right now is that one that I'm still trying. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, you're not done
You know?
yet. It's still happening.
Not done yet. No.
So, yeah.
No, what was your story?
Mine was actually switching careers to I was working as a supervisor in a call center for years, and I said I needed to switch it up a little bit, and I decided to switch it to 100% commission sales, which was a tremendous risk because I had never sold before in my life. And 100% commission sales means that you don't get paid if you don't sell. And but I needed the challenge, and I needed to know that I could do it. And so I got a job working in a slightly upscale furniture store. And I started out, and I was suffering. I was not doing well, and I was in danger of failing. And so I had a couple of managers that sat down with me to really kind of coach me. And they sat down with me to just kind of teach me how to close a sale, which was a really big deal. I was lacking the confidence in actually asking for the sale. Like when you've spent a bunch of time building rapport with somebody and they really like you and you've built up the list of things that they really want, and I would lose them. They would just say, well, I think I need to go home and think about it. And I would lose the sale because and when they taught me how to close, when they taught me how to ask for the sale, say, so are we ready to make the purchase today? Are these the items that you'd like to go with today? Make them commit. All of a sudden, I was earning more money than I was making at my other job.
There you go.
But it was dangerous because that was I was dependent completely upon, how well I did. And sometimes I would work an entire Saturday and make $50 because I just didn't land a sale or didn't connect with somebody, or it was slow, or it was a football Sunday, or, that kind of thing. Scary stuff. So
you don't sell, you don't eat.
Yeah, exactly. But I proved that I could do it, which was a really big thing for my confidence. And so that was awesome. I was really, really proud of being able to do that. And now those skills, I could do that anywhere. I can take that skill anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But I
You can
could have
definitely do
really
that.
fallen on my face, and I took a big risk. So, that was mine.
It worked out, though.
It
Let's
did.
see. Let's see. Alessander joined in and said, in 6th grade PE class, the presidential fitness test, quarter-mile run. I chose to run with the track team girls and nearly died keeping up. But
Yikes.
that says to me you kept up.
Exactly. Exactly. You did it. You got through it. Torek said, every time I click on competitive mode in Overwatch. Also, now I'm realizing I need to take more risks in my life. It's true.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Draven Dresden says, I presume I'll fail every time I decide to, quote, go for something. While more often than not, I'm correct. I have not failed everything. As the saying goes, I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
It's a very good way to look
Yeah.
at it, and getting back up again and trying is the key point on it, trying something different.
Yeah.
Broken Bones said, asking a girl out in middle school. I was in a wheelchair, and most girls that age won't look past that. She turned me down, and my confidence was shattered, but I had to know if she felt the same. I did eventually get over it and eventually left the wheelchair and her in the past where they both belong.
Very cool.
A good
Very
lesson.
Cool. Yeah. Miss Noyd says, I took a leap of faith about 2 years ago. I moved with a husband and cats in tow to a new city where I had no work or place to call home. We packed up a moving truck and drove 300 miles with about $1,500. In this area, you need about $2,000 down to sign a lease. I managed to find work within 1 week, go service industry skills, and a place to rent within a month. I was utterly convinced, though, that I would end up living in a van down by the river, fishing for my supper.
That's a huge, huge risk and very large potential to fail. But you know what? It's a leap of faith, and sometimes you just have to go for it. I mean, me moving to Minnesota was a pretty big leap of faith for me, changing jobs and hoping that everything was going to fall in my favor. And, it's just big changes sometimes can be the best rewards. So you never know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
These were really good questions, Marcona, and I like these this week. It was really good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And those are some great responses, guys. We appreciate you joining in the conversation and letting us know, tell us a couple things about yourself.
Absolutely. So we have and by the way, if you wish to contribute to these questions every week, we put them in Discord, we put them on Twitter, and you can respond there. It's questions@taurentthinktank.com. If you need a larger forum to respond in or want to do it privately, we can do that too. Sometimes people email us and send us their responses, which is really nice. So we now have an update from our letter last week, which I am super happy about to be able to read.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Whoa, that's a lot of feedback.
We have an update from Perfect Nomad, our friend who wrote us last week and said that he was interested in getting more involved, but felt like he was alone in a lot of things that he did, not really fitting in with the nerds and certainly too nerdy for the people who aren't nerdy. So we did our little spiel last week, and he came back with a letter to us and said the following. Hey, Moo Crew, I just wanted to thank Jules and Marconin for sharing my question with the community along with their experiences. I've listened intently to the episode multiple times, and I'm soaking in all the knowledge and good vibes that were spread around. During and after the episode was released, I've had plenty of people reach out to me and offer to geek out with me no matter what it is. The episode inspired me to really put myself out there and just go for it. I'm finding myself to be less timid, more vocal online, and actually stand up for people when it comes to competitive gaming. You two are absolutely correct in my love for Overwatch. While I adore Blizzard games, Overwatch has my attention. I've taken liberties to reach out to the different voice actors and commend them for their work, and the responses have been exciting and positive. My podcast is in motion, my spirits have risen, and I don't feel like a loner anymore. Thank you for everything you guys do, and I can't wait to see you two at this year's BlizzCon. Your friend, Perfect Nomad.
That's great, buddy. I'm so glad that you've got some good stuff on the tail end of this, and that you're doing better. That's so awesome.
Sometimes there's just, sometimes that first step of just saying, I acknowledge this as a problem changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and definitely, putting it out there has got you some people that want to play. I mean, heck, I want to play some Overwatch with you too. I mean, it'd be fun.
I wish I played more. I don't play very often. We play in drinking and swearing and, but that's typically what my experience of Overwatch is until I just be like, I should maybe try to get a loot crate or something. I just have to level myself out so I can get a crate.
Oh yeah, I love the seasonal skins that they put out, so I have to put in some time and money for that. Especially if they keep putting out good Farrah costumes. Like, the Halloween one was great. The Christmas one was great.
You're a
Take all my
Farrah
money,
nut.
Blizzard. I like the high vantage point and the rocket launcher, and just being I like all of her abilities.
She's pretty awesome.
I just love it all.
I suck at her,
Love
but
it.
she's really fun. And it is now the time of the
The time.
slash move. Start us off, my friend.
Alrighty. Let's see. First slash moo comes to us from Broken Bones. Slash moo to iPods. One of the greatest devices ever. They celebrated 10 years.
Good Lord. No, that's the iPhone.
Oh, no, it's the iPhone. That's the iPhone. Excuse me. 10
That
years for the
blew me
iPhone.
away. That blew me away. I'm like, oh my God, the iPhone. Yeah. My first iPhone was an iPhone 3. I got an iPhone 3. That was my very first one.
I have not had one yet.
No, you have not.
I mean, I don't hate iPhones. It's just I like Android a little bit better.
Yeah.
They're great, but I like my Android.
It's okay. It's okay. We can be different in our phone liking and still be okay. Nymphadora says, slash moo to my husband, who is doing an amazing job at helping me deal with my depression.
Definitely. From Magic Myth Mayhem, slash moo to Discord for existing and for giving a bunch of mentally ill individuals the opportunity to form a community centered around the not so well known disorders. We have a solid support group together. We are not alone anymore. So thankful.
That's great. From Tuli Bardine, our friend Tuli would like to do a slash moo to Azran, who is a Portuguese friend of mine. That has made my vacation fantastic.
That's awesome. I've seen some of those pictures, Tuli. It looks like you're having an awesome time.
He's eating some weird food though in Portugal. I'm like, dude, did you eat that really?
Hey, when in Rome, you know.
Or Portugal.
Or Portugal. And guys, if you have a quick slash moo, go ahead and put it in the chat. But the last one that we've got is from Kazrick, who says, slash moo to my nutrition coach, who has, after 1 month of coaching, helped me get my body fat percentage and weight down and muscle quality up. It's really hard work, but today's assessment made it worth it. Looking forward to what we can do in month 2.
Oh, that's
awesome.
hard work, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome. Congratulations, Kazrick. And boy, I hope we get to see you at Nerdtacular. That's the last time I saw Kazrick was at Nerdtacular. So,
Oh yeah.
hopefully that would be awesome. And that is our slash moves for the week. And with that, we have done a show, Mark Honan.
We have.
Look at that.
It's something that it's been done, and there it is, folks. You see it. It's right there.
Signed, sealed, and delivered for you.
Yeah.
So, couple things. Next week, we will have a special guest with us. Yes. Our show next week is going to be a listener who is joining us and is also a podcaster. And so we are going to be talking about depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder from someone who has actually lived it and has recovered from some very, very challenging situations. So Rycap is going to be joining us from the Victor Sanctum podcast, and we're very excited to meet him. We're very excited to discuss his personal situation. He wrote us a beautiful letter before the holidays about his experience, wanted to share that, and I thought this would be a really good show to have. So
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're gonna start off our guest series for the year with a guest that you've never seen before on this show. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to it. And I'm going to be talking to him next week to get everything set up. And yeah, so this is bound to be a little bit more of a heavier show, but a very, very important one. And we're very much looking forward to it. So
yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be real good.
What else? Should remember and remind for the members of the Convert to Raid Guild, We are going to be celebrating our 4-year anniversary week starting next week, and lots of events going on. So if you are a member of the CTR Guild, you'll want to go to converttoraid.com/guild and check out all of the events that are happening, because, man, there's a lot of stuff. And it's for all the games. Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch. I'm running an Heroes of the Storm matchup with Gizmozord on Saturday, next Saturday, the 21st. So that is going to be fun and exciting, and you guys are going to hopefully enjoy it. So yeah. What else?
Good times.
What's shaking with you, my friend? Anything?
Well, just getting. We're in the home stretch. 2 weeks to go until PAX South. In fact, 2 weeks from now, I will already be in Dallas.
Me too.
Down there a day early.
I won't be. You'll be there already. I will be
I'll
coming
be
the
there.
next day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there seeing some friends and just getting ready to pick you up at the airport. And it's going to be a good time. I'm working on some stuff for the panels that we're doing 2 panels this year. We're going to have some video to record that. And I'll put that up on the YouTube channel like we did last year. It's going to be a good time. I'm jazzed. I'm excited to see some friends. Excited for the panels. Excited for the con. It's excited for Scotch eggs, and just keep talking.
I'm excited for barbecue brisket, man.
Yes. Oh yeah, got to get some of that too.
Marconin has this thing about Scotch eggs, because we went to this English pub when we were there on the Riverwalk that had Scotch eggs, and it was like the first time that he had them before. And
yeah, first time ever.
And it was like this. It was like a titular moment in your world. Like it changed your life.
Yes, the clouds parted.
And Marconin has been talking about Scotch eggs ever since that moment. So he has now said every time, he's like, 2 weeks till Scotch eggs, Jules. It's 2 weeks till Scotch eggs.
I had that a moment like this song in my head when I took my first bite. You know, some people wait a lifetime to eat Scotch eggs like this.
We have to figure out how we're gonna go. Like when we go, we have to go like Sunday for lunch or something.
Yeah, we will. Just go for a drink and Scotch eggs, and then the appetizer's there, and then we go to the brisket and stuff for lunch.
That's right.
Gotta do. Yeah.
Oh, brisket, man. I want brisket.
So
if you are a member of the community and you are going to be at PAX South, we will be doing a meetup like we did last year. We've got people gathered up in our Discord server, which is again tinyurl.com/TTT chat 2 is our short link to get there, and there is a channel for PAX South 2017, and you'll get a chance to kind of keep up with that. It'd be pretty cool. I'm excited.
Yeah. It's going to be a great time, and even if you're not at PAX South and you live in the San Antonio area or are going to be there, you'll come on by and say hi. We'll be there. It'll be a good time.
All right, my friend, let's do this thing where we take this show down to its place of rest, and we do it just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website. That's taurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us too. And Triple T merchandise is available again. We're back, baby, with some t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, phone cases, notebooks, laptop cases, and more. You can find all of that at taurenThinkTank.com/store.
And thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you'd like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. Want to meet other members of the Triple T community? Join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
Yep. And as far as other social media stuff, you can find us on Facebook and like us there at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. Of course, you can find us on Twitter. Everybody's on Twitter. And you can find the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can find Jules at Jules RPG and myself, Mark Conan, at Mark Conan Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can find the video stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank and a mobile audio stream through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you here. However, you can join us And most of them are on the download, so we appreciate you too.
Oh, absolutely.
We love you guys too. Oh, Marconin,
Jules.
keep feeling better, my friend.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. You guys have a wonderful week. We will be back next Thursday with our special guest, Rycap from the Victor Sanctum podcast. And we look forward to that for myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Really?
Really.
Really?
Really.
I guess Garrus decided to sleep on the tree the entire night. You probably can't see him, but he's up there.
No,
Marconin has a different camera, but
yeah, I can't see him.
see
He's a little higher. There he is.
Yeah, I had to move the camera up so you could.
Is
see
that
him.
is that his leg or is his tail hanging off the edge?
That is his leg. His tail is dark brown. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's kind of
It'll
got the elbow thing going on over the.
Oh yeah.
Battle Panda. Yeah, I don't know how you snuck in here, dude. I don't know what you're doing, but you certainly are not supposed to be here normally, are you? He listens to the show at 2.1 times speed, so yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of people doing that on podcasts just to get through it because you can still hear it and understand it. But
like
I
can
talk
tell,
like this, you can barely understand what you're saying all the time.
Yeah, I can instantly tell when something is sped up because it loses the normal like speaking cadence that you have.
Yeah.
And it drives me like it would be too distracting for me to listen to that and get the content and not like freak out. So I can't. Some people can do it. I can't. I cannot.
Yeah. So what should we name this episode? I was thinking Be Kind Rewind.
Oh, that's a good
that
one.
Earlier.
That's a good one. Yeah, show titles, guys. Show titles.
Yeah, if you guys got any other show titles that you want, then go ahead and let me know. So we can do that.
Yeah. Big yawn. Big yawn.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Nintendo Presser is coming. Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
Toy
yeah,
Alley.
that's right.
Oh, because it's in
They
Japan. That's why.
Yeah, they need to market the Nintendo Switch with that Will Smith song called Switch. That would work because it's a catchy song.
That
It is
is.
catchy.
That is a catchy song. I haven't heard that song in ages.
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
Papa, turn around now, Switch.
Gosh,
Ooh la la la.
that one throws me back to the 90s. Holy crud. Wow.
Well, not as much as Parents Don't Understand.
I know. That one was 1990.
That was early 90s.
90, 91? I was in high school. I know I was in high school. Conan's looking it up.
88.
What?
Came out in 88.
Okay, then I was in junior high. Huh.
Yeah. That's when it was released. It meant, it might have gotten, February 17th, 1988 on 12-inch vinyl.
Jeez. Pirate Poots, I was 2. Oh. I'm old.
Well, I was 5. No, actually, I was technically 4 because I hadn't turned 5 yet that year.
We're getting to that point right now. Sharku's doing LFR. 1988, you were 3 years old. Oh God, I was.
Oh boy.
1988. I was. I need to do math in my head and I can't. I can't do math in my head. God damn it. Let's see. Where's my calculator? Oh, that's not what I wanted. I was 14. I was 14. Good Lord.
The super cool babysitter.
The hard thing about doing a show for almost 2 hours is that you cannot process higher level things like math in your head. Like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Brain's fried.
I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that math in my head. I'm just going to do it on a calculator. I was 14 years old when that song came out, and I remember it too. Yeah, it is too late to math. So there's parents don't understand or be kind, rewind. What do you guys think, chat room? You guys get to pick. I keep remembering age is just a number.
Mm-hmm.
Age is just experience. So, you know, that's when I start feeling old.
You're not old. You've
when
just,
Battle
you've
Panda
just,
was
just leveled
3, when I was 14, you know, like, yeah.
up.
Yeah. Just have to remember. You guys like parents. You said we're time. And Gossi, I saw you asked earlier about how the house search is going. It's going good. I am pre-approved for a mortgage, which is great. And I saw a place that I loved, and it was the very first place that I saw, and I absolutely love it, except for the fact that it's just the kitchen is really, really small, and it only has one bathroom, and I'd like two, just in case my family came to visit. But like the price is amazing, and it's like the exact area that I want to be in. It's in Shoreview. Like, it's so close to getting to Pat's house, and I'm like, oh, I could sacrifice the second bathroom and the smaller kitchen and save a bunch of money, but I just don't I love it. It's perfect except for the small kitchen and the not second bathroom. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating, and it's gorgeous. It's so everything I want, and so I just said no, I shouldn't do it, and then, but the price is so low, and it's like for what I'm getting and where it is, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm still trying to decide. So I keep thinking about it. That's the problem, is I keep thinking about that place too. Yes, I am looking at townhomes, and it's so cute. It's beautiful. It's everything I need, but it is a little small. And a lot of money I could save a month. Like, a lot I could save a month than what I'm paying now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I can't build on it later. You're right. So
I'm looking for a house too.
Yeah.
Trying to start those ideas.
Have you started the mortgage pre-approval process yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten that far. We heard that the better time to buy is later in the year, like during the fall. So we may wait till then. But I'm looking at places, and it's not bad.
The advice that was given to me by my realtor was literally just go and get yourself find out how much you can afford.
Yeah.
And a good lender is going to teach you like how much money it's going to be with your monthly payment, your, insurance, taxes, all that, like what your monthly payment would be that would be okay, Yeah,
let's see. Yeah, we've got kind of a ceiling idea of how much we can afford. So we're not looking at anything above that at all.
Yeah.
But just trying to see. There's a couple things, but of course there's we see these foreclosure homes that are like, it's a great giant home for $20,000. Like, I don't know how the foreclosures work, and there may be something wrong with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
One of our friends actually works at a bank, and we went and talked to him at it's actually the same bank we bank at.
Good.
And that's why when I walked in, I saw him. I was like, "Hey, I didn't know you worked here."
That's awesome.
But we sat down with him for a while, and he gave us a lot of ideas to think with, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll probably go through them because we already bank with them, and we've banked with them for years, so
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
might as well.
And you've never purchased a home, right? You've never actually
Nope.
gone through the process. So usually, what happens is that you would have a inspection done on any place that you put an offer in, and it's contingent upon the results of the inspection. Like if you found a place that you like absolutely love, but it was foreclosed and you saw there might be some issues with it, they're going to tell you like these are the problems that you're going to have to deal with if you buy this house, and then
Yeah.
it helps. Gossi says, remember to check with a couple of places all within 14 days. What does that mean? I'm not sure what you mean there.
I guess maybe checking to see the prices and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm checking like every day. And my realtor's got me notified anytime a new listing comes up. I mean, I'm way ahead of where I need to be in terms of finding a place because my lease goes until the end of July. And if I break my lease, if you check what you qualify for with different lenders. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get different interest rates depending on who your lender is. Yeah, definitely. So I don't have to move until the end of July. And if I break my lease, I'm going to have to pay a penalty. So I know that it's there as a possibility. But the problem is that I'm paying way more than I should for housing anyway. And most likely if I go for a place, the penalty that I pay for breaking my lease is still going to put me ahead. So it's just kind of, yeah. Oh, I know that feeling when you're like, I want to buy a house, but yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot get a sublet for this place. No, I don't think they allow it here. My previous place, like I could not break my lease. I had to get a subletter, and that was my only option. So, are you guys looking, Sharku? Oh, that's awesome. Are you guys looking in North Carolina? Is you gonna stay there? Obviously, with your job, you most likely are.
My sister's looking to move out to North Carolina, possibly.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. She really liked the area when she visited last year. So she did something like far future, not even really planning, but something she's thinking about. So
yeah, it is disgusting how much you pay in rent. Like it really is. It's just, especially out here, disgusting how much you pay in rent.
yeah, the house across the street from ours, it went for sale, or it went for sale. Somebody was there for a little bit, and now it's for rent for like $1,200 a month. And I was like, and then I'm looking. I didn't know how mortgages worked, and I looked it up. And the houses that we were looking at, it would be like maybe $200 a month in rent, or in our mortgage, like
in
$200
mortgage
a month.
payment. Yeah.
I was like, geez, Louise, that's cheap. But then you got to think you got to repair the house yourself. It's yours.
Yeah, and like it depends on what the agreement is a lot of times with the rent. Like if they're maintaining the property for you, like, they're taking care of the grass and they're doing any like maintenance on the house, that kind of thing. But even like if they're paying $200 in mortgage and they're charging $1,200 a month for rent, that's that's like crazy profit. Oh.
Yeah. See that made me think about, well, maybe I should get into real estate. Now I know why real estate people have lots of money, because they, now I've seen how the sausage is made. I've seen the other side.
Yeah.
I've seen the man behind the curtain. Now I'm like, ah.
But so Mama and Papa Jules both have commercial real estate licenses. They can sell residential, but they actually have commercial real estate licenses. And they said to me, honey, don't ever go into real estate. Not unless
Really?
yeah. Because it is so, like, it's feast or famine. You're going to be, if you're not selling during the slow months where it's winter, like up here, my realtor is like hungry for a sale, and she's awesome. She's amazing. She's really, really sweet. But, she wants to sell something because they ain't selling much during this time of year. And then during the time where everybody wants to move, it's like, bye, I'm too busy, but you're going to have to, you're living in a world where you're dependent on what people want to buy and where.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
especially where you live.
Yep.
It's a lot. It's
So
a
it
lot.
just
Oh, I know it's sniffly. All right, gang, we should probably get out of here so I can start editing and posting the show and get some rest at some point tonight. So, great show, you guys. You were awesome, chat room. We love you. Thanks for all of the new faces and returning faces and people we haven't seen for a while. It was so great to see you guys. And we'll be back next week with a specific topic, with talking about depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder.
bipolar.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, guys. Make
Yes.
sure you're here in the chat room. If you're here, we love seeing you. If not, we'll see you on the download. And if we see you in a couple weeks, then awesome. It's going to be a good time. We'll probably go to that same Mexican restaurant we went to last time
Which was
with
fantastic.
the really good margaritas.
It was so awesome. All right, guys. Slash moo, everybody.
Slash Moo, guys. Have a great night
Bye.
and a good weekend.
Yeah.